How's it going, everybody? Welcome again to another episode of Consejos. Consejos, this is episode 13. 13, a very sacred and important episode. Started off with episode 1, interviewing my father, and episode 13, for those of you who don't know, 13 is a very sacred number for those of us of Mexican descent. And so I couldn't move forward without really putting that sacred stamp on this episode. And so for this episode, I'm choosing to interview my firstborn, my eldest son, Adriel. Adriel, thanks for coming on, man. Thank you for making the time.
Yeah, any day.
Awesome. So for those who don't know, Consejos is just, advice for and by Latino men. And so in this episode, want to introduce you to my son. So Adriel, please tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you? What do you do? What are you known for? Please let the audience know.
Hi, my name is Adriel I Perales-Valencia. I'm a 16-year-old boy, born and raised here in Tucson. Dad, of course, here in the picture, my mom, Marilyn Valencia. But what I'd say I'm most known for is actually the gym kid. So I started gymnastics around the age of 8, and I've kind of stuck with it till now. So, 2-time national champ, really pushing for the Olympic stage. So, I'm trying to offer whatever I got today.
Awesome. Thank you. So I thought it was really important, folks, to bring on my son, like I said, to balance out the spectrum. We've heard from other men in the previous episodes. Some of those men have influenced Adriel. And so, just want to give his perspective as a young man, what he's heard, what he's seen, and offer, again, to all of us, again, those nuggets that are out there. So again, in this Consejos, we're going to go after 2 very simple questions. Number 1, what's the best advice you've ever received? And number 2, what advice would you give at this phase of your life to others? Right. So without any hesitation, let's jump right into this. So question number 1, son, you've had a lot of people in your life. You've had a lot of folks who have influenced your path. And so what would you say is the best advice that you've received in these 16 years of your life? What has stuck out? What do you remember? What would you want to share? Give us some context. What was it and how has it impacted your life?
All right. First one that comes to mind that probably had the most powerful impact was definitely one night. I was, say, around 15, and it's a little after my birthday. So at 15 you start to become a man, and we had a talk about how I was managing the transition from public to online, and the sacrifices that I made in that time period, and how I was kind of still stuck in a shell of myself rather than really expressing myself as who I truly am. I told you everything I was having trouble with, losing friends, things like that. I gave away all my teenage years. It's a decision I made, but, as a kid, I still get reminders of it and how it's gonna, it's a sacrifice I chose to make. But I was in deep, I was feeling very strong emotions, and you told me, breathe underwater. It's like, just learn how to breathe underwater. It's like, because even though you may be in it really deep, you just have to learn how to breathe underwater. So, of course, that looks different for every person. But for me, it was just kind of accepting the direction I chose to take my life in.
Awesome. I mean, I remember that conversation, and I know it's hard for other people to maybe understand, right? But it's this piece of just like, you have to accept your fate,
Yeah.
and you have to adapt to that. We had that long conversation about, are you sure you want to choose this path? And you said yes, and you have sacrificed so much, and you've actually gained a lot from that sacrifice, but the sacrifice is still heavy. And I know it's weighed on you quite a bit, and we've had those discussions. So for those folks who are either raising a child or who are working with somebody who is going to need to, make those sacrifices, or somebody who themselves is going to have to make those sacrifices to get where they want to go. You're one of those folks that, it's been a blessing for us, right? For you to come into our lives and to do all of this. It's just amazing to see. What advice would you give to folks who are on the cusp or questioning, doing something like this? You, like you say, you turned in your teenage years in hopes of, Olympic gold. What would you advise people?
So advice to potential elitists. If you want to be an elitist, you just gotta make room for it. It's because becoming an elitist isn't common, I've heard many times and I've experienced that it's lonely at the top. So if you really want to become an elitist, you really have to accept everything that comes with it. Because you may want to be an elitist, but the things that come with it, and not all of them are golden as one would want to perceive. So for those of you chasing greatness, welcome it, but also accept everything that comes with greatness, or you're bound to collapse.
So talk to us a little bit about that. What are some of the things that you have to accept? What are some things that come with it, good or bad?
Well, becoming something abnormal, people around you aren't going to really understand initially. If you hear interviews of Kobe Bryant, they would ask him, well, you were training, from 4 a.m. to 5 p.m. So what did your personal life look like? And he'd often tell people that he didn't really have one. He'd spend some time with his wife and his kids, but like his friends, his cousins, his parents and stuff, that you kind of have to distance yourself because you have to walk your own path in a way. So it's gonna be really, really lonely at times. You're gonna feel like there's nowhere to turn to. And if you feel that way, that means you're on the right path. Because no one else, elitists aren't elitists because everyone can walk the path. It's, if everyone could be great, then everyone would be great.
So when you're talking about elitists, you're talking about like that elite athlete, right? That elite individual in their class.
Yeah, whatever field it may be. It may not even be athleticism, maybe real estate or, astrophysics or whatever it may be that you're passionate about and you're really invested in. There's an elite level of whatever you may find.
So folks, this is, again, words from a young man who's coming up who I'm extremely proud of his accomplishments and in awe of the sacrifices he's willing to make to, again, get to that elite level, right? And to do it in a way that's humble, in a way that, I'm extremely proud of what he's accomplished, like I said, but also with everybody else who's helped, everybody else along the journey. It hasn't been alone, definitely, even though it is lonely at the top. It hasn't been alone. So I just want to give thanks, right, to his coaches, teammates that he's had, family members, of course, and even friends that have come through this time in different capacities. So, again, I want to thank everybody who's just followed along in these episodes and who's given us the time of day just to hear what we have to say. Hopefully you can get some words out of this and some knowledge and some nuggets, right? It's not every day that we come across folks who are, again, striving for greatness in any capacity, right? Most of us are just kind of trying to get by. So with that, I invite you again to stick around, to watch the episodes to come, to go back and see the episodes that have passed, and again, connect with me, connect with Adriel. We're here, and we have a perspective, and it's unique. And like I said, I'm blessed that I'm able to walk alongside my son in this way. And again, with my wife and my family supporting him. And it looks like we may even have another elite athlete in the ranks coming up. And just super proud of the kiddos for what they're doing. So Adriel, I'll leave you with the last word here. What do you want us to pay attention to focus in on, to support what's in your world that we should know with respects to, putting a microscope or putting a spotlight on something that's out there that people should know about?
I think something that definitely needs to come up on the radar, and I think I have a role to play in my sport. So due to COVID-19, several colleges have had financial issues. So as of right now, 2 programs have actually shut down in the country. So there's several pages on Instagram and Facebook. The most notable is College M Gym. They're really shining a spotlight on what's going on in the NCAA. Uh, so the NCAA actually isn't that big in men's gymnastics anymore. With these 2 colleges falling, we're actually down to 16 proper colleges that are still offering scholarships for young men like me chasing greatness. So if you guys can just, do what you can to spread the word, or even, show some love in that field, you're fortunate and able, it really would make a difference.
So again, folks, I'll tell those folks who are out there, maybe somebody who's listening, who can get this to the ears of somebody who has the wherewithal to write that check, to support that program. These are dreams that are on the line. And this is, again, not an easy feat for these young men who are trying to do this work, specifically for, young men from our community, right? There's not many young men from our community who are stepping up in this way. And so yeah, go check out, this focus, this area where you can help out, get the word out, have folks kind of contribute as best they can. Anything helps. All right. With that, folks, I just want to, again, thank everybody. Thank Adriel. Thank my son. Thank you for being you, kiddo, for allowing us into walks alongside you on this journey and to witness, right, what you're trying to accomplish. And I know that it's been hard fought and hard earned, and you got, a lot ahead of you, and we're hoping for the best, even in this time of uncertainty. So thank you for coming on. Proud of you. Love you. Thank you, everybody, for being with us. And again, making this sacred on number 13. So please stay tuned for follow-up episodes. And like I said, go back and check out everybody else's. Again, El Consejo, en el Corazón. Much love, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.